welcome to another Workshop Wednesday, all about casual conversations for serious workflows, brought to you by schoolofbookkeeping.com, where it's keeping you learning QuickBooks your way. And as you have noticed, we have an extra. Now, I guess that came off.
No,
like a movie extra.
Yeah. It's the background.
Somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
We have an extra face. And as part of the casual conversation here, Yusuf, who's joined us before on several workshops that we've had when we're discussing Method. He's kind of our insider into the inner workings of what you can do with Method and the CRM. So we are going to this is an evolution of a conversation that we've been having over the past couple months, where we've been talking about Intuit Accountant Suite and the practice management steps that Intuit is making in that area of, hey, it's not just for being able to access your clients, it's actually, some of the things that some of the practice management software that's out there. And Rachel and I had a discussion a couple weeks ago about some of those things, those tasks. So you can watch those conversations, watch some of those conversations available. And so we can, we'll talk about those things. Now, what we want to talk about today is how Method can do some of those things. But before we do, I wanted to talk a little bit about a new announcement that we had made last week. Rachel, you weren't here, so you weren't part of the announcement.
Nope, and I wasn't here because I was at Shop Talk Las Vegas for e-commerce, and it was very cool, in case you were wondering.
always a great experience, and that was what was your main takeaway of that conference?
Oh my gosh, just that the e-commerce industry is gigantic, and I can't even explain to you who was there. Every major e-commerce marketplace, Shopify, WooCommerce, all of the Eats, Grubhub, Uber Eats, everybody. It was incredible. All the payment platforms, PayPal, Stripe. It was really, really cool. I just had so many amazing conversations, and I actually got some pretty cool opportunities. I'll tell you later.
Awesome. Always great to get those things, but it's a challenge to take time out of your work day, to do those things.
It's really hard. But in this industry and working in the software that we do all of the time, and I'm sure Yusuf can say the same thing. This stuff changes so fast. So you've got to be, especially for us, we're not just accountants, we're integration, we were interested in tech, integration, AI, everything that's involved in all of the software now and how they talk to each other. And if you want to work in that area, you really have to keep your finger on the pulse of everything that's happening.
Right.
Quite busy.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to kind of prioritize what you really want to learn for yourself, and might not.
I know, but I want to learn it all, and I just don't have enough hours in the day.
Right. You need to clone.
Yeah.
Clone of yourself.
I know, but you know what? I don't know if I've actually announced this officially, but I can now because everything's totally completed. But I purchased Core Financial from Sharon Fuller, who is your co-host on the Power Hour. And actually, I'll be on the Power Hour, I think, next week or the week after, something like that. But she built up Core Financial Pros, and I purchased it. So I now have that team. So a lot of really cool things are happening, and I have a lot more help. So with that, I'm able to spend a little bit more time in the automation. And so that's really, honestly, that's my passion. I love it. And I love how that works in accounting.
Yeah. And our session on the Power Hour next time is all about, the evaluating the best Shopify connector to QuickBooks. So hot off the presses of your.
It is, and we actually at Net Deposited we put together a really cool resource that we're going to be sharing with anybody that is watching that and would like it.
Have you guys spoken about QuickBooks Online and how they officially released an MCP server for agents?
A what?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, that's gonna have to be a separate workshop.
Okay.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, we don't want to get too far into the weeds here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a cool thing where you can set up agents to talk directly to your QuickBooks Online. And basically you can set it up from your WhatsApp, your iMessage, and be like, hey, I need an invoice created for this customer. And you send it through WhatsApp or iMessage, and it creates that invoice for you in QuickBooks.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
It is getting to the point of less work or no work, which is, of course, their goal, right? Is that, you just do your thing that you do as a business owner, and the bookkeeping happens, right?
Yeah.
And provided you have someone like Rachel or Yusuf to set it up properly so that it does those things. Right?
Yeah.
You can't just assume that just by typing something in WhatsApp that it shows up the way that you expected it to.
Also, small request before we begin. That reaction that I had when you guys didn't know about the MCP server, if we could freeze frame that and put that as a part for this episode, that would be amazing.
Yeah. We'll make a screenshot just for you.
Cool. Awesome.
So a quick announcement before we get into the meat and potatoes of what it is that we're going to be talking about today. We have this new option at School of Bookkeeping called QBO Power-Ups. And I'm going to quickly share my screen and just to show what it is that we're talking about here. And I got to click it. And there it goes. Okay. So we have a page, and you can use the QR code to get to it. But the whole goal here is that we want to partner with applications that get the most out of QuickBooks. And you may notice that Method is here, right? So Method is one of those power-ups that we prefer, right? So the basic idea is that when you add these power-ups through our relationship with these applications, by doing so, that gives you School of Bookkeeping resources, and that could either be a 30-day trial of quick answers for post-conversion support help, or maybe an hour or two of help where you can schedule time and we talk about some of the issues that you may be seeing. But our goal is that we want to have you set up with the applications that we know, tried and true, tested applications that don't get in the way of your workflows, right? So like Yusuf was just saying about WhatsApp, right? If you have it set up right, it will totally streamline your business practices and your workflows. So check that out on our website. And let me stop sharing here.
Yeah, that's a really cool option. Just FYI, anybody that's watching and has ever called Intuit support, you don't want to do that. This is where you want to get your help. Dan DeLong. Let's do that instead of call Intuit help.
Thanks, Rachel. All right. So since Method is one of those QBO power-ups that we just want to kind of segue into that discussion, right? So we kind of talked about this series of like, all right, there is things that you need as an accounting professional, and as you grow and as you start to scale, you need a little bit more than what QuickBooks will allow you to do, right? And then Rachel, you had kind of talked about last time, sometimes you have this Frankenstein of additional applications that may or may not work together. What are some of the tools that you have either used or found to be using or use currently that help you with your client communication, your onboarding, your billing as a firm owner?
Sure. So as a firm owner, we use, well, and we had talked about this when we were talking about some of the new features in IAS, and we happen to use, well, now it's called Double, but it was formerly Keeper, and it's a really popular client communication app, but we use it for month-end close too. And those things really need to be integrated into QBO because, you know, a lot of times we'll do some of the actual bookkeeping in it and it'll sync to QBO. So really, regardless of what you're using, you still need to make sure that it's talking to QBO correctly. And so that's going to require some manual work.
Right. And sometimes you'll either have to, maybe it does it manually, or maybe it does it out of the box, so to speak, or maybe you need to massage, you know, some of that integration by adding, you know, some kind of low code, no code integrator, right? Like Zapier or.
Yeah. And actually, you know, there is something that we use heavily, and that's Anchor. And that is a proposal service. And everything syncs to QuickBooks Online, but I am telling you, like, I don't know if AI can get this right, but no matter, I mean, I have this thing integrated, mapped to perfection, and it still errors out all of the time.
Yeah.
Can't find the customer. Customer's in there. Okay, hit refresh. Okay, now I found it. So I don't know about this, you know, telling AI it's going to do this, like, tomorrow. We are still experiencing lots and lots of hit refresh, manually override it, even though it's mapped. There's still a lot of things that we have to go in and manipulate.
So Yusuf, then, you know, we have this hodgepodge of tools that sometimes works or sometimes doesn't, or that now we need to kind of manage the integration, right? Like Anchor going to going to QuickBooks, or Anchor going to Keeper, or, you know, something like that, you know, because I really specialize in how things come into QuickBooks. But when you have systems talking to other systems that come into QuickBooks, then it gets much more complicated. What's the kind of promise of Method to be able to kind of help consolidate some of these tools?
So I've said this many times, and I might sound like a broken record if you've ever been on my YouTube channel. I say it often across my videos. So Method is really meant to be kind of like that power up, like you've mentioned, where it's a centralized hub for a lot of your company's operations outside of accounting. Method understands that QuickBooks is the accounting expert. It's not trying to replace QuickBooks. But what it is trying to do is it's trying to leverage QuickBooks power to then empower the other departments of your company. So oftentimes I come across businesses where they have, let's say, 3, 4, 5 different platforms that they subscribe to. And we're able to consolidate it down to like 3 or just 2 platforms because Method is replacing a lot of those things. Now, I'm going to premise this by saying it's not going to be immediate. It's not out of the box. Oftentimes, there's still some customization involved, right? But that's where the power is essentially you can get Method to be customized to a degree that actually allows you to be like, oh, I have the subscription here for this other platform that is completely being replaced by something I built out in Method. So I can just go ahead and cancel this now. And that's where a lot of the value comes from.
Yeah, and that's a really incredible skill to have, Yusuf, is to be able to look at something and determine what's being redundant and what can be achieved by this one thing. And you're so far ahead of the curve because you have your own business customizing these automations. And I think that those of us that deal with custom automations are going to be really in demand because I think that a lot of, I mean, not to like change the conversation, but I just wanted to add this because I think that it's just such a secondary thing that yes, all these discussions about AI and, you know, all of these jobs that are going to be replaced or whatnot. No, I think that a whole cottage industry of automation specialists are going to pop up. And those of us that really have a strong understanding of this ahead of the curve are going to be in a really good spot, because that is a byproduct of all this, is that too many people have too many things. And so to be able to look at, well, wait a minute, what's actually communicating with what, and what's really the best product of these that I can bridge the gap here and I can enhance, because the things that you showed us that Method can do are so cool.
I appreciate that, Rachel. Yeah, no, definitely. And it's good that you brought up the whole AI thing, not to kind of detract and get off topic, but, you know, AI is, especially for people in our line of work, you know, you have to constantly think about it. It's always in the back of your mind, right? And it's something that you need to learn to evolve with. And if you don't, you're going to fall behind and you're going to see your competition surpass you. So I'm not trying to scare anyone, but it is a disruptor at this point.
Yeah.
AI, back when ChatGPT came out, like 3 years ago, I forget when exactly, that was a completely different state of AI. Where we are today, it is legitimately a disruptor now. If you are not learning the tools that are out there, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Now, just to put a button up on this, I was having a discussion yesterday with actually our neighbor who was freaking out because one of her clients that she's paying, you know, or that's paying her like $1,000 a month to do these things. He went into Claude, created a little dashboard thing for himself in like 10 minutes and was like, I don't need you anymore. And she's like, oh my God, my job's going away, right? Like my business is going away. And that is potentially true, but I was talking to her and I saw a video about what is technology or AI replacing, right? And if you look at taxis, right? Like taxis and Uber, right? What did you get into a taxi for? You got into a taxi because you could just give somebody an address. They knew where to go and how to get there, and they would do it for you. So Uber, the technology replaced the knowledge, right? That you were getting with the taxi driver, right? What AI and technology is not doing for our industry, it's not replacing the knowledge yet.
Right.
I say yet, right? Because eventually, you know, I think is what's the trajectory, like 2030 is when AI might start thinking, right? Like, or being able to have a thought or a cognitive thought.
Yeah.
And so, you know, right now it is replacing workflows. It's replacing things to do, right? So you still need that taxi driver, so to speak, which is the accounting professional or some human, right? That is still overseeing all of that, and that's where we are today. And to your point, Yusuf, it is either going to raise you up or drown you, depending on whether or not you're going to embrace it. Like, you're not going to lose your job to AI; you're going to lose your job to someone else who has embraced AI. Right, and they now have a tool to use.
And I think the market is also shifting. And you guys can challenge me on this too, because this is all speculation, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. But I think that what's going to happen is that, and I've experienced this firsthand with one of the businesses I work with, where I was showing him a bunch of stuff on how these tools can automate his business even further on top of Method. And he was like, Yusuf, this is all great, but I don't have time to learn this myself. I'd much rather pay you to do it for me. I'm already busy with my own business. I don't want to worry about having to learn this stuff. I'd rather just pay someone that I know that I can trust, that will push my business to the next level.
Absolutely. So if you can develop that skill to go in and discern, like, oh, okay, I want to use automation here. I want to use a little bit of AI here. I want to, you know, really create this custom setup. These people aren't going to want to spend the time to do it.
Correct.
Yeah. And in my neighbor's case, her business is consulting with logistics companies. Those are the ones that are now being the hardest hit right now of the nature, right? Their tariffs, gas prices, all of those things. So they're looking for ways to be more efficient. And that may be why they're turning to technology. And so we were like telling her like, hey, just become a consultant with these companies to be able to
show them how to do it, teach them how to do it.
And you're a real badass, pardon my French, if you run an accounting practice, right? And you have clients that come to you with their problems and their business problems, and they expect you to just be an accountant. But if you're also an AI advisor as well, you are at a completely different frontier now. You know what I mean? People are going to look to you for all of their questions. So it's kind of like, this is actually an opportunity for a lot of people who run their own accounting practice, who are in the accounting space, to be like, if I learn this skill set and I learn it well, I have now just opened up a plethora of more opportunities for my business and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Agree.
Coming back from the weeds, good segue, right back. So the promise of Method here is that you don't have disjointed systems, because you could feasibly have a proposal software, an e-signature software, payment processor, and then this client communication on top of that. So what are the core features, I guess, Yusuf, of Method that allows, that basically out of the box, right? The core features that accounting firms can take advantage of and leverage as a potential consolidator of tools that they already have.
So I think the first thing, and I think the biggest one, to be quite honest, the lowest hanging fruit when you go onto Method, is you can leverage their customer portal to basically have a medium for your customers to basically self-serve. So if there's anything like documentation that you need them to fill out, checklists, anything like that, that could all happen within the customer portal. Now, out of the box with the customer portal, it does give your clients a way to view their past transactions with you. It gives them access to view their customer information. So if they ever change addresses or they change their email, they can go ahead and update it there. And then it gives you the option. It gives the option for your customers to pay for outstanding invoices that they might have with you out of the box. And then with small modifications, now you can include these procedural operations that you do that are recurring in your practice, where you're automating kind of like your to-do list for each of your businesses that you work with. If it's an onboarding to-do list, if it's a tax year-end to-do list, it could be several different to-do lists that you can essentially just automate, so that when that time comes, when they log into their portal, it's sitting there waiting for them.
And it's all within one tool.
It's all within one tool.
And then, even to the point of, because at its core, Method is a CRM, customer relationship management software, we're just now kind of specializing it towards the accounting industry. It also has, and we talked about it in prior workshops about, email capabilities, where you can use it to get new, right? And all of that is then trackable and traceable within the CRM if you need it to flow into your QuickBooks, right?
Yeah. If you want a better handle of getting your leads inside of your CRM, Method gives you that out of the box, right? You have a form that you can basically just embed on your website, and as soon as they submit that, it creates a lead as well as an opportunity, which is a pipeline tool that Method gives you as well. That is before they actually sign with you, right? So you have a good handle of who are my largest opportunities, what should I be focusing my sales efforts on first. Method kind of gives you those insights right away.
Right.
It seems like Method can provide, if you're an accounting firm owner, it can essentially automate your entire firm.
It can
Looping in your accounting software to all of the things that you need to acquire and service all of your clients.
Yeah.
There's really not anything it can't do.
So,
like
easy
the WhatsApp,
example, right?
It can't fold my laundry.
Yeah.
Or read your mind.
The easiest example is, right, like let's say you understand that each business you work with has their own fiscal year end, and you want to track that inside of Method, right? And then you say, hey, I want to proactively send out an email to all of my businesses that are, let's say, 2 months or 60 days prior to their fiscal year end with a bunch of stuff that they need to do. So I don't have to go and chase after them and rush to get this stuff done. And now they appreciate that I'm actually being proactive on my end to reach out to them to say, hey, by the way, you're 2 months away. Please start sending me the stuff. You know, a lot of practices might not be doing that, right? It's more of a reactive approach. Like businesses are calling them up. Hey, my fiscal year ends like 2 weeks from now, and I still haven't given you anything. Like, what do you need? And you, as the accounting professional, is already overwhelmed with a lot of other things that you got to do. And now you have this pressure to get something in before business year end for your clients.
Right.
Yeah, because let's face it, if you have an accounting firm, whether you're doing tax or bookkeeping or controllership or payroll, it doesn't matter. If you're running that like people did when everything was analog, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And like, you know, not to call out Anchor, because I like Anchor too, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, it is a billing proposal software, and then it's done, right?
Yeah, it's like when there was a camera and there was a microphone where you could take notes, and there was all these separate things, and then the iPhone came, and now all this stuff is in one tool. Exactly. It's kind of what's happening here.
Right.
Although I'm not giving up Anchor just yet.
And you can do these things still in Anchor. You just have to find systems that allow that communication to continue to happen.
Yeah.
It does have a Zapier connection. It does have you know, certain APIs where you can push it to Slack, or you can push it to, you know, something else so that it does something as part of that action. But at its core, right, without doing all of that, it is the billing, you know, the proposal to billing workflows, which is designed to allow them to do. And it does give the customer a portal, but they can't self-service like
yeah, it's true. And I mean, there's gonna be a time where we're gonna look back and be like, oh, can you believe that we used all of these separate apps and like connected them all together, where if they signed the contract, then it would create a new customer in QBO, and we'll be laughing like that was I don't know, the Telegraph or something. Like in 10 years, we'll probably be laughing about that. And it'll probably be, Yusuf is probably so far ahead of the game that it'll be, well, oh, you're not doing everything in one system and automating it all.
Yeah.
Because the challenge is like, you know, again, you know, not to call out Anchor, but the tasks that need to happen, especially when you're scaling when you're in the scaling stage of, it's not just you anymore in your firm. There's now team members, and team members need to have assignments, and some things need to be assigned to the client, and some things need to be assigned to a certain team member. Those are the types of things that, you know, prohibit, you know, the scaling. But by being able to use something that's consolidated and, you know, feeds bi-directionally inside of your firm software, is going to give you that much more capabilities, right? Like that's why I call Method a power up, you know, because as you were talking about it, Yusuf, I was thinking of Doctor Strange, right? The Marvel superhero, right? He can do pretty cool things by himself, but when he gets that cape on, right, it's like it is a power up to what Doctor Strange can do, right? Yeah. And some of the things it can do by itself, right? Yeah. And some of the things it does while he's wearing it, right? So Method is kind of like Doctor Strange's cape in this case.
That's a great analogy.
Now, if you're a nerd, right, now you get it. You get this understanding of what Method actually is Doctor Strange's cape.
For all you Marvel fans out there.
That's right. but and it's one cape, right? It's not like you have to change capes to do different things. Like, what does that, Rachel, from your perspective, what does like a clean proposal onboarding experience really do for those closed rates that you have? Like when it's all in one thing, how does that branding, like where you're able to essentially do the things that you wanted to do, but you're not having to do it in different experiences? Like the invoice out of QuickBooks looks different than the invoice out of Anchor, for example.
Right now. I would love for it to all be in one place. But when you have a team and then you're bringing things on at different times, it's so hard, you guys. And this is where being a solopreneur is a lot different than having a team. Because when I was a solopreneur, I could just decide, oh, I'm just going to switch to this. This is going to be easier for me to use. But now that I have a team, it is so difficult because, and especially with acquiring that firm, is they were all on Client Hub, and we had used Client Hub before, so I was very familiar with it. But now we're in Double, and so I can't really bring everybody to Double, or I can't really bring everybody to Keeper. So to Client Hub. So I have to keep this separate for now because I don't want to interrupt the operations with the customer. And so it becomes inevitably more difficult to consolidate. But I will say, like, what we've decided to do is we're just going to kind of try. And as time goes by, like, we'll bring over who we can to get everything in one system, but it's not easy to do. It's really, really not. And then on top of it, part of the problem is like, I would love to have it under the umbrella of one thing, but then I like this one feature that this one thing has. And like you guys know, now working in all these apps for so many years, it's like, well, that one does that and that one does almost all that, but not that. And that one thing I really have to have. And so it's really hard. And really you just have to kind of keep your eye to the, like, everything that's happening and all of the upgrades and all of the changes, and just every once in a while pull the trigger and like pick something new, and hopefully it can consolidate. But yeah, it's not easy.
And another thing that I appreciate about Method is that becoming a Method partner, right, gives you that opportunity of what you were just saying, Rachel, is that you don't have to, investigate another software, put time, money, and energy into connecting it, because part of Method's partner program, right, is the whole idea of drinking your own champagne, right? They provide you a 2 demo accounts as a Method partner for free, right? And one to
that's really cool.
One to demo to your customer and one to use for yourself, right? So if you get start to incorporate Method into your practice management while you have Client Hub and Keeper, right, you can continue to build the things that you like about Method or about those other softwares, and incorporate them into your own practice management software that is part of your own tech stack without the cost of doing that to you as a firm owner. Yusuf, you want to kind of highlight or talk about some of the benefits that I missed of the of being a Method partner?
So Method, they have a great community. Both me and Sylvia, who are both on the call supporting the chat, they're amazing people to work with. And they really make you feel like they have your back with anything that you might have. Like if you have any questions about anything, they'll guide you in the right direction. They'll go get you the answer that you need. So becoming a Method partner is really like entering an ecosystem where you feel like you're part of a community that's really just trying to help your purpose, right? So for me, is just growing my business. And they give you marketing materials, right? They have monthly internal workshops where you go in and you're joining all the other partners and you're learning from them. And if you have any questions, the partners have their own channel on Slack that you can talk to. So it's not like you're by yourself in this. No, you have people here to support that growth.
Yeah.
So what Yemi and Sylvia built at Method is tremendous. Like from what it used to be to where it is today, it's a night and day difference.
And they, not they, Yemi and Sylvia, but Method itself uses its own product for its own partner program, right? Like that's one of the things that is really impressive about the whole Method partner program, is that you really can see how it can benefit you because they are using it for themselves. And it's not like, because you would never see Intuit using QuickBooks,
So even when I was working at Method, as an employee, you get access to their own internal Method system.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they also have their own internal copy of Method, which is extremely robust. Like you could only imagine what's in there. And we had to interact with it every day to do our job in the professional services team. So it was really, really
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what Intuit uses for their accounting?
I don't know. I mean, as far as their CRM, they use Salesforce. And so, and we know Yusuf's opinion about Salesforce compared to Method, right?
Not a fan.
He appreciates Method over Salesforce.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some industry Oracle something, that that the finance team would use.
I wonder if they use SAP.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably. So with with regards to becoming a Method partner, you'll have an instance of Method that you can use for your own firm, an instance of Method that you can share as a demonstration. It's very similar to the way Intuit used to be to its pro advisors, right? That relationship Intuit with the accounting community is getting soiled, I guess, for lack of a better word, because of the encroachment that some of the services, and we were talking about the AI earlier, is becoming to the accounting community. Right? But Med is kind of like the Intuit of old, where it's providing these things to allow partners to become promoters of the software. And I'm one of them, right? I mean, I really like the way this works, and that's why I want to evangelize it, to anyone that is in the sound of my voice. So Yusuf, with regards to who Method is best for, like what types of firms are really going to get the best results from incorporating Method?
I would say the types of firms that would get the best results are firms that have a sales team, of at least 5 people, a service team, I would say, of at least 5 people on there. The sales and service side of Method is really, really robust in terms of you're going to see an immediate benefit once you get your service team and your sales team on there. So me particularly, I specialize with field service businesses, and right away, as soon as they go onto Method, they're immediately seeing a huge impact to their business, from scheduling to automatically creating invoices off of a work order. For the sales team, it's being able to see a pipeline of stuff that they need to do, so they understand what they should be working on next. A lot of these businesses, prior to even going on to Method, they're still dealing with spreadsheets and sticky notes, and stuff gets fall through the cracks all the time, and there's a lot of unrealized revenue that they lost before they go into Method, and then they start tracking all the revenue properly from the sales side, and they're starting to see their bottom line grow just because they have a better handle of what's coming through the pipeline.
Yeah, not even optimizing their workflow. I once had some I don't know, contractor type come here to my house. And the process they had was so ridiculous. It was like, okay, write me an estimate, and then it's approved. And then the guy has to go out to his truck and call the guy in the office, have that guy create an invoice. I mean, it was so backwards that I was just like, what's happening here? What is going on with this process? And I was explaining to them, you can't run your business like this. You guys need to figure out how to create me an estimate. I approve the estimate. Boom. It automatically then creates an invoice, and then you can take a payment, like with a payment link. And I was explaining to him, I was like, don't have me agree to the work without me giving you like a 50% deposit. Like, I was trying to explain to him how to do this. I was like, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but you guys need to improve this process. Anyway, yeah, I mean, and that was in my advanced town. You know, we have technology here, but that's people going around doing that. It's like blows my mind. So not only are they improving their processes, they're going to make their customers happier. I don't want to sit and wait for him to go into the truck for 20 minutes. And, you know, I got to get back to what I'm doing.
I like to say that with, and I can speak for people in Method as well. Like whenever you work with a partner or Method directly, oftentimes what we're doing is we're really putting their teams on tablets. That's what's happening. They're moving away from their notepad now, and they're actually, the owner's like, oh my God, I see a clear advantage of me just going and buying a bunch of tablets now and giving it to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Of course.
So we could probably just chat about Method for an undisclosed amount of time. But I think that kind of encapsulates what we're trying to discuss here on this workshop, is that, you know, becoming a Method partner will give you an entry point to being able to evaluate if Method could actually serve your firm in a way that is complementary to the services that you're already using, or, you know, putting on that Dr. Strange's cape of even more getting more out of those things, but again with the promise of consolidation, so that you don't have this hodgepodge of things, which is the promise of Intuit Accountant Suite, but, you know, it's just getting started. Right. So let's, maybe there will be a day where Method is not necessary because they've expanded into those things. But, you know, we've seen where that leads with other things when Intuit tries to put in too much too soon. You know, they've got other things that they need to deal with, you know, the broke sales tax or something. And now they need to address that. Well,
and I'm still waiting for the agents.
Yeah.
Waiting, twiddling my thumbs, waiting. So yeah, that'd be nice.
Right. So we'll put a wrap on this workshop for today. Appreciate you joining us and seeing this. There are some QR codes and things in the comments, or links in the comments, to get in touch with Yusuf if you need to have a conversation about, you know, what is possible. Like, you know, when I have a question of, can it do this, Yusuf is the guy to talk to about that. Then go ahead.
I see a question from Brandon Morris. He said, so how does Yusuf benefit with us being a Method reseller / partner? So it's not just me. I mean, Dan is also a partner at Method as well. So Dan also could be a partner that you can work with as well. But essentially, when you work with us, what Dan and I can both do for you is really show you the inner workings of Method, and we can help you understand Method for yourself so that you could start pitching it to the businesses that you work with, right? And start getting some opportunities coming through your pipeline by saying, hey, I know that you have, because I'm sure you have conversations with your businesses that you're working with every day about, oh, I wish QuickBooks can do this, or I wish QuickBooks. And then you say, well, in fact, there is a platform that can get you on. And this is something that both Dan and I would be more than happy, and Rachel, if you, of course, because she's also familiar with Method, on stuff that we could do to kind of empower you to have those conversations.
Yeah, and Brandon, I know Brandon, he's great. He's a power software reseller, and he knows this stuff inside and out. So Brandon, you could even have, if you're going to resell Method, you could even have Yusuf white glove stuff for you and stuff like that. I know that he's talked about doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably more like what Brandon is even thinking about, I'm guessing. Yeah. Maybe not like being the person to set it up himself, but being able to partner with you guys.
For sure.
Exactly. Yeah. You could be the reseller or referral partner as an accounting firm. And then, because I clearly know when I've met the Dan DeLong of Method as,
I love that. Whenever you say that, it puts the biggest smile on my face.
is that, when you need that customization, right, and the inner workings and knowledge of what Method is, what's possible with Method, you could be the referral partner with Method as an accounting firm, and then Yusuf can be the help with the implementation and customization aspect of that. So working in tandem with that. Method also has its own crew of folks, right? Because we have the same problem. There's only one Dan DeLong and there's only one Yusuf, right? So if you do need those other other folks, and they're really great too, because Yusuf used to be one of them, right?
Yeah.
So they got it going on.
Yeah. Brandon, more than happy to have a conversation with you all offline about it even more, just to see how we can work together.
Awesome. All right. So next time we're going to talk about something truly boring: how to merge items and list elements in QuickBooks. Because it's one of those simple things that we kind of forget that it's even possible. And when you have like duplicates and things that you need to clean up, not realizing that merging is an option.
Oh my gosh. And can I tell you, merge, I use it every single day of my life. And every once in a while, the thing bugs out. So I would love a conversation about this.
All right. So if you want to bug out about merging items, we will be discussing that next week. Hopefully, everybody has a non-foolish April Fools. And if you celebrate, happy Easter. So we will see you next time on the Workshop Wednesday.
Thank you for